In this video, I am going to show you how to work with source analyzer in Power Center. Source analyzer will allow you to create the definition of your data sources in Power Center. With this, you can create the source definition of a relational table, a flat file, XML, or a COBOL copybook. And it will allow you to create the source definition of different data sources as well. Before I explain the steps for building the source definition, I would like to show you what's the role of source analyzer and where the source analyzer fits in the process of building the mapping. From this slide, we can see the high-level steps involved in creation of the mapping. The first step will be the importing of the source definition. For importing a source definition, we will be using the source analyzer, and using the source analyzer, we can create the definition of your sources like the relational table, flat file, XML, etc. And once you have the source definition in Informatica, then you can go to the target designer and build your target definition, and that'll be the second step. And once you have the source definition and target definition, you'll be creating the mapping, and you'll be building the transformation logic or business logic to move the data from source to target, and that'll be the third step. So the source analyzer will be used in the first step of building your source definition. And with that, we know what's the role of source analyzer and where the source analyzer stands in the mapping building process. I can go ahead and show you what's the different steps in creating the source analyzer. Okay, you can log on to the Power Center Designer using your user ID and password. Okay, and once you log on to the Power Center, you can open the folder wherein you want to create source definition. Once you open the folder, you will be seeing the source analyzer in your workspace. If you don't see the source analyzer here, you'll be able to choose the source analyzer by clicking this source analyzer menu, or you can go to the tool menu and select the source analyzer from there. And once you have the source analyzer, you'll be able to see a source menu here, and you'll be seeing the source menu here only if you have the source analyzer open in the workspace. So since we have the source analyzer open here, and you can see the source, so once you click on here, you have different options for creating a source definition. It says we have the option to create the source definition from a database. That means you can create the definition of a source from a relational table, and then we have the option of creating the source from a file. This option will allow you to create the definition of a flat file. Then we can create the COBOL copybook definition. Then we have XML option, and we have much more complex option from the PeopleSoft, Siebel, etc. These options vary based on your Informatica license. And here we have a option here you can manually create your source definition. Okay, and now I am going to show you how to import the source definition from a relational table. For importing the source definition from the relational table, we'll be choosing the first option. And before you go there, you should be having a user ID and password to get connected to your source database. Okay, now once you click on that menu, you'll be getting the import table inside, and it's going to ask you this ODBC connection, the username and the password of your source database. Now if you do not have a ODBC already created, you can click on this button, and it's going to prompt you to create a new ODBC connection. And now I am going to show you how to create the ODBC. You can create a user ODBC or user DSN. Just click on add. Now it's going to show you the available ODBC drivers. So I would use the data direct for SQL Server, because I am using my source table is from a SQL Server database. And click finish. Now it's going to ask you the name of your ODBC. I'm going to give you SQL Server ODBC, and I'm giving the description like ODB, and I'm giving the server name on which and the database name. You can do a test connect, and the connection is successful. Apply. Now you can choose the ODBC you just created and give the username for the database and the password. Okay. Now if you just click the connect, you're going to see all the objects which is available from all the owners. And if you don't want to see all the owners object here, you can choose default, and you can choose the owner name here. If you, okay. And one more thing, like if you don't want to pull all the tables, you can specifically give the table name here. If you just give employee and do a search, you can it's going to show you only the tables which start as employee. And but I want to see more than that table, so I am not going to give that option. So it's going to give me all the tables now. Here I'm going to import the department table and the employee table. So I'll choose the department table and employee table, and I'm going to say okay. So now you can see that two tables have been imported to the source analyzer, and at the repository navigator you can see the two tables have been added here, which was not there before. Now if you look at the table definition here, you can see that you can expand the table definition here, and you can see that the column names have been added here, and the data, you can see the data type and its length. If you want to see more detail about it, you can do a right click and edit the source definition. Here you can see the multiple tabs, and I'll explain you what are each tab and what information we get from there. Here you can see that the table name is here. You can see the table name, employees are here, and we have not given any business name here. And you can see the owner of the table. And if you want to give any description about this table, just for more readability purpose, you can give the description here. And from here you can see that this table is a SQL Server table. And if you go to the columns tab, you can see all the columns available in the table have been imported here. You can see the column name, data type, and the length and the scale, and if it is nullable or not nullable, or if the column is a key column like primary key, foreign key, or anything. And if you see at the bottom, you can give a description again about each column. This again is for the readability purpose. You can give the same description for all the other columns as well if you need. And if you see, you can see that the department ID is a foreign key, and it is mapped to a different table, and that table is department. Okay, and that's how you create the source definition using from a relational table. Now I am going to show you how to create a source definition from a flat file. Before I create that, let's go ahead and look at the source file. Okay, here is a sample file I have, and in this sample file I had got a column heading in the of the very first record, and you can see that the records are comma delimited. So this is a comma delimited file with the first record as the column heading. Okay, now let's come back to Power Center source analyzer, and let's go to the source and do the import. Okay, now it's going to ask me for the sample file, and I have the sample file on my desktop. I'm going to choose that. Okay, click OK. So now it is going to ask me what kind of file it is. So I know it's a comma delimited file, so I'm going to choose the delimited file. Okay, if you want to change the name of the table, you can change that. I'll just give my store table. Okay, and we can see here that the first record is nothing but the column heading. So I'm going to import the column names from the first record. So I'll just choose this option. Okay, then click on next. So now it has identified the delimiter as comma, and and if you come down here, you can see that it has identified the columns based on the column delimiter. And if we just scan through, you can see that all the data has been properly taken into the proper columns. So click next. Now here you can see that the column name has been taken from the first record. So the and now just need to make sure that the column length and position is fine. So for the first column store ID, I think I will make it a length of 10, and for the store description it is identified as 7. It took 7 because 7 was the largest length, so it has taken 7, but I'll go ahead and change that to 20. Okay, and I'll do the same thing for the remaining columns as well. uh, Now we have reviewed the length and position of the each columns. You can just click finish. Okay, now you can see that the source definition has been created in the source analyzer, just like the any other source. You can see all the properties here, and if you want to see the additional properties, you can just right click and go to edit, and you can see the extra additional properties. And if you want to make some description for the table, and or if you want to make some description for the column, you can do that here. Okay, and one more thing we can do before we save it is we can go to source and do a preview of the data. Once you do the preview, you can choose the sample file from there and click open, and again click open here. Okay, now you can again scan through and see if there is any issue like any truncation of the data happening or any mismatched column. Looks like everything is coming fine, no issues here. Okay, so now we have verified that everything is looking fine and the data is fetching correctly from the source. You can save it. Okay, for that you can say go to repository and save. Okay, the table has been saved, and you can see the notification has come here. Okay, and that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see a list of training sessions, training manuals, and lab manuals with the step-by-step instructions for doing these exercises. Please go to my Facebook page and get the information from there. Thank you guys once again. Thank you. Bye bye.